Jayaguru. बसंत आसीछि फगुण सकाळे कुहू कुहू करे कोकिल बसंत आसीछि फगुण सकाळे कुहू कुहू करे कोकिल नरम खरारे धरा परसई फुटी अछि बने बौल नरम खरारे धरा परसई फुटी अछि बने बौल कळ पतर आसन पकाई कळ पतर आसन पकाई प्रियतम मुग बसी अछि चाही प्रियतम मुग बसी अछि चाही केबे मकुटीरे करिब विजय केबे मकुटीरे करिब विजय जन्म करिब सफल जन्म करिब सफल बसंत आसीछि फगुण सकाळे कुहू कुहू करे कोकिल बसंत आसीछि फगुण सकाळे कुहू कुहू करे कोकिल नरम खरारे धरा परसई फुटी अछि बने बौल नरम खरारे धरा परसई फुटी अछि बने बौल आखि निरधारे धोई विचरण आखि निरधारे धोई विचरण नव मल्लिमाळे करि विवरण नव मल्लिमाळे करि विवरण कहिबि अकुहा कहानी केते मु कहिबि अकुहा कहानी केते मु गोपने रखिछि सकल बसंत आसीछि फगुण सकाळे कुहू कुहू करे कोकिल नरम खरारे धरा परसई फुटी अछि बने बौल नरम खरारे धरा परसई फुटी अछि बने बौल केते आदରରେ रखिथिल पासे केते आदରରେ रखिथिल पासे पठाइण देल कर्म व्योम देशे पठाइण देल कर्म व्यपदेशे जुग जुग धरी घुरिलिनि केते जुग जुग धरी घुरिलिनि केते फेरिब बने बौल लुचि लुचि केउठारे रहिथिल लुचि लुचि केउठारे रहिथिल एते दिन परे आसी देखा देल एते दिन परे आसी देखा देल आउ न भूला निय कोळे तोरी आउ न भूला निय कोळे तोरी टूटाइए भव जंजाल आउ न भूला निय कोळे तोरी टूटाइए भव जंजाल बसंत आसीछि फगुण सकाळे कुहू कुहू करे कोकिल बसंत छी फगुण सकाळे कुहू कुहू करे कोकिल नरम खरारे धरा परसई फुटिअछि बने बौल नरम खरारे धरा परसई फुटिअछि बने बौल नरम खरारे धरा परसई फुटिअछि बने बौल। जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। केही देखिबे केही जानिबे लुचि लुचि तुम्हें आसी केही देखिबेनी केही जानिबेनी केही देखिबेनी केही जानिबेनी लुचि लुचि तुम्हें आसी लुचि लुचि तुम्हें आसी ए दीना तनूरे कोटि कदम्बरा ए दीना तनूरे कोटि कदम्बरा हरण देवलेसी हरण देवलेसी केही देखिबेनी केही जानिबेनी केही देखिबेनी केही जानिबेनी लुचि लुचि तुम्हें आसी लुचि लुचि तुम्हें आसी से शुभ दिन ताकि मुरही केबे गोआसी बताई से शुभ दिन ताकि मुरही केबे गोआसी बताई मो आखि लुहारे तुम कमनिया मो आखि শান্তি জীব লেখিব কেহি দেখিবে কেহি জানিবে কেহি দেখিবে কেহি জানিবে লুচি লুচি তুমি আছি লুচি লুচি তুমি আছি যেবে তুমি মানো ন রাখিব মোরা কাহাকু কহিবিয়া যেবে তুমি মানো ন রাখিব মোরা কাহাকু কহিবিয়া এ মরা দেহটা কেতে আও তুহ এ মরা দেহটা কেতে আও তুহ সজীব সংসার দাও সজীব সংসার দাও কেহি দেখিবে কেহি জানিবে কেহি দেখিবে কেহি জানিবে লুচি লুচি তুমি আছি লুচি লুচি তুমি আছি তুমি একমাত্র মোর বলিয়ে দেখাইবা পাইবে তুমি একমাত্র মোর বলিয়ে দেখাইবা পাইবে আসিছি হে প্রিয় পাশে দিয়া আসিছি হে প্রিয় পাশে দিয়া পদ সেবা অধিকার পদ সেবা অধিকার কেহি দেখিবে কেহি জানিবে কেহি দেখিবে কেহি জানিবে লুচি লুচি তুমি আছি লুচি লুচি তুমি আছি এদিন তনুরে কোটি কদম এদিন তনুরে
Puja vara gunalina se saguna papi bhava bhiru jane sata tambarada pranamami guru shiva kalpastam pranamami guru shiva
জয়গুরু। কোটি সূর্য কান্তি চম্পক বরণ, কোটি কামদেব অঙ্গে শোভা, কোটি সূর্য কান্তি চম্পক বরণ, কোটি কামদেব অঙ্গে শোভা, মোহন মূরতি সুমধুরতি, মোহন মূরতি সুমধুরতি, কোটি ভক্ত জন মন লোভা, কোটি ভক্ত জন মন লোভা, কোটি সূর্য কান্তি চম্পক বরণ, কোটি কামদেব অঙ্গে শোভা, মোহন মূরতি সুমধুরতি, কোটি ভক্ত জন মন লোভা, কোটি ভক্ত জন মন লোভা, শ্রীপদ যুগল পদ্ম ঢল ঢল, বর্ণিকে পারিব উপমা, শ্রীপদ যুগল পদ্ম ঢল ঢল, বর্ণিকে পারিব উপমা, অধরে মধুর হাস সুমঞ্জুর, অধরে মধুর হাস সুমঞ্জুর, কলিকে পারিব সুষমা, কলিকে পারিব সুষমা, পদ্মাসন ঠানি নিয়ে মন কিনি, জ্ঞান প্রেম ঘন শিরোমণি, পদ্মাসন ঠানি নিয়ে মন কিনি, জ্ঞান প্রেম ঘন শিরোমণি, আজানু লম্বিত বাহু সুশোভিত, আজানু লম্বিত বাহু সুশোভিত, ভকত से सुशोभन कोटि तटकर मण्डन स्कन्ध उपवीत बक्षे सुशोभित स्कन्ध उपवीत बक्षे सुशोभित व्याघ्र चर्म परे समासीन व्याघ्र चर्म परे समासीन पद्मनिन्दितव से पद कमल पद्मनिन्दितव से पद कमल वंदन करुछु बार बार पद्मनिन्दितव से पद कमल वंदन करुछु बार बार जीवन सायने तव श्री चरणे जीवन सायने तव श्री चरणे मिशि जाउवे प्राण सार मिशि जाउवे प्राण सार मिशि जाउवे प्राण सार
जयगुरु सद्गुरु स्वामी निगमानंद उपदेशामृत पेज 45 more boy. My mysteries of scriptures. It is thought coming of our nature that we never admit the poverty of our intelligence, even though universally mysteries of scripture.
sorry ma
Oh, sorry, mysteries of
से last time पढ़ाई थी नेक्स्ट हो जाता
नेक्स्ट को चैप्टर 9 भाई
हाँ मिस्ट्रीज ऑफ एडवाइस ये कौन यूनिफाई हाँ
मिस्ट्रीज ऑफ
नहीं से एडवाइस हमर ओडिया होची त समन्वय उपदेश ला कौन हाँ यूनिफाइंग एडवाइस
ओ मोर इंग्लिश कोईटा भाई राइट
हाँ राइट चैप्टर 9 पढ़ो चैप्टर 9
अच्छा Unifying advice. God is one, but just as water assumes different names, water, pani, and aqua in different languages of different countries and societies, similarly, all pervading and omnipresent God is named as Kali, Krishna, Shiva, Allah, and other in different contexts. One God is loved in different forms as Father, Mother, Master, Son, and worshipped in different names as Kali, Krishna, Allah, and others. Bhavagrahi, Bhagavan, God who knows everybody's feelings, also known as feelings of devotees and blessed them accordingly. So the Gita says, ye yatha mam para prapadyante tamsa iva bhajamayam. Gita 4:11. Contemplation of name and form. It is the lofty and all encompassing teaching of Dharma. This liberal teaching is envisaged to accept people of all walks of life and give shelter to all types of devotees in the warmth of religion in order to worship the infinite God conveniently. The sadhakas in different religious sects have contemplated different names and forms. That is also found in the Hindu scriptures. Chinmayananda, Chinmaya, Brahma is pure consciousness, secondless, formless, and devoid of Maya, but his form is imagined for the spiritual accomplishment of sadhakas. So the different names and forms of the Supreme are contemplated according to different in lives and feelings of various communities, but all this aim at one and secondless Parama Brahma, Supreme Brahma, but the blockhead people of each community, without realizing the import of the great truth, consider the name of form and their community of be only true and prescribed hell for the worshippers and nama and form of all other religions. The civilized and educated people of the world are also not free from his narrow feeling. So it is noticed that they, in the name of spreading religious, indeed abuse other religions. If you feed an infant anything bitter, he will turn away his face. But when you give him sweet, he will show his interest in the food and feel satisfied. Similarly, the religious purchase should reveal the sweetness of their own religion to the society. Anybody disgusted with the bitterness of his own religion will run eagerly to test the sweetness of your religion. But in the name of religion, propaganda does not belittle the glory of your own religion by abusing other religions. Those who do not understand the greatness of this own religion indeed ridicule other religions. One should not abuse any other religion. Conservatism is not good. In the name of religion, conservatism is a great sin. Abuse of religion will pave the way to hell. All should know the purpose of anyone when he worships God is any name of form or by any method. He, of course, does not worship you or me, but God. What is there in name, Nama? It is simply the combination of some alphabet. Nama is so vital and significant because it promotes in you the divine feelings of one and secondless God. That infinite God is remembered through Nama. Not only the Nama of God, but also each sound reminds us of its object. Nama is different due to different in language and religions, but all namas aim at the Supreme Being. We in different namas worship the same Supreme Father, that is God. Hence, you should realize that by abusing other religion, you are indeed abusing your own religion and God. God neither hears
Joy
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, Nilachala Saraswata Sangha Puri, America Saraswata Sangha, 949th Sangha Puja Session Report. Date March 2nd, 2025. Palia on Spanalatama and Miluma. Attendance link is available on the AMSAS website. Adhivasa Puja was held on March 1st at Nigamo Smriti Mandira. After Struta Bandana, Sangha Sebaka 9th year, part 2 and Mahapurusha Prasanga was read, followed by Namakirtana and closing of Asana. The morning session of the puja started at 7:15 a.m. with Pratiksha. Uditama sang Jonai Pade Jodi Karahe and Pujama sang Phuta Phula Muje. During that time, all the devotees joined the puja at Nigama Smriti Mandira or via teleconference. Sanujit Bhai did puja archana and offered arati to Sri Sri Thakur Maharaj. Miluma led Bandai Guru Charana and Stotra Bandana. After Stotra Bandana, Sonalima read Sri Sri Guru Gita Sloka number 6. Rajabhai led Parichaya Patra Patha followed by Sammalani Prarthana and Bhakta Nivasa Nirmana Prarthana. Lipsita Ma read Sangha Sevaka 13th year part 3 Bandana Prarthana or Prarthana Karinka Prati. After Sangha Sevaka Patha, Miluma invited Sri Sri Thakur Maharaj and Bhaktas to attend the second session. The first session was concluded with Jayaguru Mahanama Kirtana. Balya Bhoga was offered to Sri Sri Thakur Maharaj. All Bhaktas were served with prasada. The second session of the puja started at 9:45 a.m. with Pratiksha. Banima sang Asahe Prana Thakura and Smitabai Ma sang Muje Khoji Bule Nisidina and Muje Asare Ganuchi Dina sang. Asana was opened with Bhavabandhana Mochana Pranamagana. Bhaktima sang the Nirekha Nirekha Aji Bandana song. Padmama read Nigamopadesa, pages from 45, the mysteries of scriptures. Debasis Bhai read minutes of the last Sangha Puja session report. Rasmi Pandama read Pancha Sanyasini Sisya, pages 206 to 210. Sukanyama sang Prarthana Sangita, Akhi Bhichigala Luhare Luhare. Usama read the English translation of Jayaguru, pages 15 to 20, which is the initial preface section of the Jayaguru, where Thakur has thanked some of his bhaktas who had helped him for publication of the book. Then Brajabhai led the question and answer session. The Y session started with Pratyusha singing Prarthana song Charana Tumara Saragu Bali. Shreyama conducted the Y session and did the discussion about anxiety. After the Y session ended, Ons Vanalatama and Miluma did Bhavavinima Sabha. Then Miluma invited Sri Sri Thakur for the Madhyana Bhoga and the evening puja. Aryan, Kishore Bhai and Vanditama invited Sri Sri Thakur to the next Sangha Puja to be held on March 9th, 2025. Miluma prayed for forgiveness from Sri Sri Thakur on behalf of all the Sevaka and Sevikas for any mistakes with the Seva. The session was concluded with Bidaya Prarthana song by Niliptama. Asana was closed with Jayaguru Mahanama Kirtana and Pranama. Rajabhai took the attendance for Bhais and Mas. Madhyana Bhoga was offered to Sri Sri Thakur, followed by Prasada Sevana by all Bhais, Mas and young aspirants. Sri Sri Thakur Chanasrita, Ons, Vanalatama and Miluma. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, Nilachala Thakur Nigamana. 165 पृष्ठा पूर्वरु कहिछि आम ठाकुर थिले जटिल चरित्रर मनुष्य से आपात विरुद्ध विचित्र भावर समाहार कोमल अथच कठोर आहुरी केते कोन आउ तांको राग खंडक जे केडे प्रचंड थिला ताहा प्रत्यक्षदर्शी माने ही जानंती सरजू मांको निकटरु सुनिछि ठाकुर थरे संदीप जाइथांती महासमारोह भोगर आयोजन होता है बोधे भवरंजन गुह किंबा गोपाल बानार्जी घरे ठाकुर था भोग होगाकू डेरी हेबो एक कथा यह जना कथा भक्त मान सहित ठाकुर गल्प कर प्राय अपराह्न 1:30 बेले ପାକ ଶେଷ ହେଲା। ତାପରେ ଭୋଗ ଘରକୁ ଅନ୍ନ ବ୍ୟଞ୍ଜନ ନିଆଯାଉଥାଏ। ଯେଉଁ ପଥ ଦେଇ ନିଆଯାଉଥାଏ ଠିକ ସେହିଠାରେ ହିଁ କାହାର ଗୋଟାଏ ଛୋଟ ପିଲା ଆକାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରି ଦେଇଥାଏ। ଯିଏ ଭୋଗ ନେଇ ଯାଉଥିଲେ ସେ ଅତର୍କିତ ଭାବରେ ସେହି ପ୍ରସ୍ରାବ ମାଡ଼ି ଚାଲିଗଲେ। ସଙ୍ଗେ ସଙ୍ଗେ ମନେ ହେଲା ବିନା ମେଘରେ ଆକାଶରେ ବଜ୍ରପାତ ହେଲା। ଠାକୁର ହୁଙ୍କାର କରି ଉଠିଲେ, ଇଏ କଣ ଠାକୁର ଭୋଗ ନା ଭୂତର ଭୋଗ ତୁମେମାନେ ଦେଉଛ? ସରୋଜମା କହନ୍ତି, ସେ ଦେଶରେ କୁଟା ଛପର ଘର। ଠିକ ମନେ ହେଲା ସତେ କି କଡ଼ମଡ଼ କରି ଚାଳ ସୁଦ୍ଧା ଘରଟା ଭାଙ୍ଗି ପଡ଼ିଲା। ଏପରି ଭୟଙ୍କର ସେ ଗର୍ଜନ, ପିଲା ବୁଢ଼ା ସମସ୍ତେ ଥରଥର ହୋଇ କମ୍ପୁଥାନ୍ତି। ଟିକିଏ ଆଗରୁ ଯିଏ ହୁକାନଳ ଆନନ୍ଦରେ ଟାଣି ହସ ମୁଖରେ ଗଳ୍ପ କରୁଥିଲେ, ସେ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତକ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ଯେପରି ରାଗରେ ଲାଲ ପଡ଼ିଗଲେ। ସେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଥରଥର ହୋଇ କମ୍ପୁଥାନ୍ତି। ସମସ୍ତେ ମିଳି ପାଦ ଧରି କ୍ଷମା ମାଗି ଶେଷରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଶାନ୍ତ କଲେ। ସବୁ ଫିଙ୍ଗି ଦେଇ ପୁଣି ନୂଆ କରି ଭୋଗ ରନ୍ଧାଗଲା। ଅଥଚ ଏପରି ରାଗ କାହିଁକି? ସେ ଯେ ଖୁବ୍ ଆଚାରୀ କିମ୍ବା ନୈଷ୍ଠିକ ଥିଲେ ତା ନୁହେଁ। ଦୂର ପଲ୍ଲୀ ଗ୍ରାମର ନୈଷ୍ଠିକ ବ୍ରାହ୍ମଣ ପରିବାରରେ ଜନ୍ମ ହେଲେ କଣ ହେଲା, ସେ ଯଥାର୍ଥ ଚତୁର୍ଥାଶ୍ରମୀ ଥିଲେ। ଠାକୁର ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସ ଜୀବନରେ ହିଁ ଜାତି ବର୍ଣ୍ଣର ଗଣ୍ଡି ଅତିକ୍ରମ କରିଯାଇଥିଲେ। ଏହା ଯେ କେତେ ବଡ଼ ମୁକ୍ତମନା ହେଲେ ସମ୍ଭବ। ଜାତି ବର୍ଣ୍ଣର ସଂସ୍କାର ଯେଉଁମାନଙ୍କର ଅଛି କେବଳ ସେଇମାନେ ହିଁ ବୁଝିପାରିବେ। ଦଣ୍ଡ ତ୍ୟାଗ କରିବା ପରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ସମସ୍ତେ ପରମହଂସ ଭୂମିକାରେ ହିଁ ଦର୍ଶନ କରି ଆସିଛନ୍ତି। ନିସ୍ତ୍ରେୟୀ ଉନ୍ନେୟୀ ପଥି ବିଚରତାଂ କୋ ବିଧି ହିଁ କୋ ନିଷେଧ। ଗୋସ୍ୱାମୀ ଶୁକଦେବଙ୍କର ଏହି ଅନୁଶାସନ ଅନୁସାରେ ସେ ଚଳନ୍ତି। ସୂଚି ଅସୂଚି ସମାନ ହୋଇଯାଇଥିଲା। ନିଜର କିଛି ବାଛ ବିଚାର ନଥିଲା। ତଥାପି ସେ ଯେ ସନ୍ଦୀପରେ ରାଗ କଲେ ତାହା ତ ତାଙ୍କ ନିଜ ପାଇଁ ନୁହେଁ। ସେ ସବୁ ଖାଇପାରନ୍ତି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଗୁରୁ ସେବା କରୁଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନଙ୍କର ପ୍ରତ୍ୟବ୍ୟୟ ହେବ। ଏହା ସେମାନଙ୍କର ନିଷ୍ଠାର ଅଭାବ, ଅସତର୍କତା, ସମନସ୍କ ସଦାଶୁଚି ହୋଇ ଦେବା ସେବା ଗୁରୁ ସେବା କରିବାକୁ ହୁଏ। ଏହା ସେମାନେ ଜାଣିନଥିଲେ ବୋଲି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ରାଗ। ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ମୁଖରେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଭାବର ଆଶ୍ଚର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଅଭିବ୍ୟକ୍ତି ଫୁଟି ଉଠେ। ତାଙ୍କ କଣ୍ଠରେ ସ୍ୱରର ପର୍ଦ୍ଦା ମଧ୍ୟ ନାନା ପ୍ରକାରର ଥିଲା। ସାଧାରଣତଃ ନିମ୍ନ ସ୍ୱରରେ ସେ କଥା କହନ୍ତି, କିନ୍ତୁ କୌଣସି କାରଣରୁ ରୁଷ୍ଟ ହେଲେ କଣ୍ଠରେ ଯେ ବଜ୍ର ନିନାଦ ହୁଏ ତାହା ମୁଁ ନିଜେ ଶୁଣିଛି। ଅତି ଶୈଶବରେ ହିଁ ଦିନେ କେଉଁ କାରଣରୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ରାଗିଯିବାର ଦେଖିଥିଲି। ବ୍ରହ୍ମଚାରୀ ମାନଙ୍କ ମଧ୍ୟରୁ କାହାର ନାମ ଧରି ଏପରି ଗୋଟାଏ ଡାକ ଛାଡ଼ିଲେ ଯେ ସତେ ଯେପରି ଚଡ଼ ଚଡ଼ କରି ଆକାଶଟା ଭାଙ୍ଗି ପଡ଼ିଲା। ଆଉ ତା ସଙ୍ଗରେ ମୋ ଛାତିଟା ବି ମନେ ହେଉଥିଲା ଭୟରେ ଅଜ୍ଞାନ ହୋଇଯିବି। ଜୀବନରେ ନିଜେ ଦିନେ ତାଙ୍କର ସେ ଧମକ ଖାଇଥିଲି। ତାହାର ବିବରଣ ଯଥାସ୍ଥାନରେ ଉଲ୍ଲେଖ କରିବି। ତେବେ ଶ୍ରୀହସ୍ତର ପ୍ରହାର କେବେ ଖାଇନାହିଁ, କାନମୋଡ଼ା ମଧ୍ୟ ନୁହେଁ। ମା ମାନଙ୍କ ନିକଟରୁ ଯେଉଁ ବର୍ଣ୍ଣନା ଶୁଣେ ସେପରି ଗୋଟିଏ ପ୍ରହାର ଯଦି ପିଠିରେ ବାଜିଥାନ୍ତା ତେବେ ମୁଁ ବଞ୍ଚି ନଥାନ୍ତି। ମୋର ଏ ଭକ୍ତିରେ କାହାରି ଭାବଭଙ୍ଗ ହେଲେ ସେଥିନିମିତ୍ତ ପୂର୍ବରୁ କ୍ଷମା ମାଗି ରଖୁଛି। ତାଙ୍କର ସେହି ଭୈରବ ପରିଚୟରେ ମୁଁ ତ କିଛି ଦୋଷର ବିଷୟ ଦେଖୁନାହିଁ। ଠାକୁର କଣ ଅବିମିଶ୍ର ଭଲ? ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ କଣ କିଛି ମନ୍ଦ ନାହିଁ? ହିନ୍ଦୁର ଗୁରୁ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କ ପରିଚୟ ତ ତାହା ନୁହେଁ। ସେ ନିଗ୍ରହାନୁଗ୍ରହେ ଶକ୍ତ, ଯେ ଶିବ ଶଙ୍କର ସେ ହିଁ ପୁଣି ମହାରୁଦ୍ର ଚଣ୍ଡ ଭୈରବ। ଭକ୍ତଙ୍କର ଚିରାଶୁଭାନୁଧ୍ୟାୟୀ ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ଦେବଙ୍କ କରୁଣା କୋମଳ ବିଶ୍ୱତୋ ଭଦ୍ର ମୂର୍ତ୍ତିର ଅନ୍ତରାଳରେ ନିର୍ମମ ନିଷ୍ଠୁର ଜଣେ କଠୋର ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସୀ ଥିଲେ, ଯାହାଙ୍କର ମାୟା ଦୟା ଭଦ୍ରତା ବୋଲି କୌଣସି ବନ୍ଧନ ନଥିଲା। ତାଙ୍କର ଦକ୍ଷିଣ ଓ ବାମ ଉଭୟ ମୂର୍ତ୍ତି ପ୍ରତ୍ୟକ୍ଷ କରିଛି ବୋଲି ମୋର ଗୋଟାଏ କଥା ମନେ ହୁଏ। ଆମମାନଙ୍କ ଭଳି ଅଜ୍ଞାନୀଙ୍କ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରେମମୟ, ଦୟାମୟ, ସ୍ନେହମୟ ବୋଲି ନ କହିବା ହିଁ ଭଲ। ସେ ଇଚ୍ଛାମୟ, ମଙ୍ଗଳମୟ ବା କରୁଣାମୟ। ଆମମାନଙ୍କ ନିକଟରେ ଏହା ହିଁ ତାଙ୍କର ସତ୍ୟ ପରିଚୟ। ସେ ଚଳନ୍ତି ନିଜ ଇଚ୍ଛାରେ। ସ୍ୱତନ୍ତ୍ର ଈଶ୍ୱର ତାଙ୍କର ପରିଚୟ। କିନ୍ତୁ ସେ ଇଚ୍ଛା ସର୍ବଦା ଜୀବ ପକ୍ଷରେ ମଙ୍ଗଳପ୍ରଦ, କଲ୍ୟାଣକର। ଏହି ବୁଦ୍ଧି ପକ୍ୱ ନହେଲେ ଗୁରୁଙ୍କୁ ନରାକାର ପରମ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ବୋଲି ଚିହ୍ନି ହୁଏ ନାହିଁ। ଏହା ଦୃଢ଼ ଭାବରେ କହିବି। ଯାହା କହୁଥିଲି ସେ ବିଷୟ କହୁଛି। ପଢ଼ାଶୁଣାର ସୂତ୍ର ଧରି ମୁଁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ଖୁବ୍ ଘନିଷ୍ଠ ହୋଇ ଉଠିଲି। से निजे मोर जुक्ताक्षर बनान र परीक्षा नेले शरीर असुस्थ हेबारु केते दिन पई नित्यकर्म अर्थात शिष्यवर्गंक क्रंदन भरा पत्र पाई कड़ा और कोमल स्वर रे ताहार उत्तर देवा दायरु से अब्याहति नहीं सही अवसर रे टिके मोर मास्टरी कले परीक्षा नहीं कौन कही से कथा थाउ किंतु तांकर भावना बढ़ीगला लीलार एवं इंग्रेजी शिक्षा दरकार बोली फास्ट बुक अणागला धारापात आसिला अर्थात विधि मते पढ़ाशुना करवा उचित जद्वारा वर्षे खंडे पर हाईस्कूल रे भर्ती करा जाई परिबो उत्साह देई कहले माँ मणि एथर श्री पंचमी रे तोर विद्यारंभ भल करी पढ़ाशुना करवा उचित ता हेले मो निकटरू प्राइज पाइबू किछि दिन पर सद्य गोटे पुरस्कार आदाय करिनेली विद्यारंभ हेउ बा न हेउ अवश्य यहाँ पछरे हरेन भाईंकर प्ररोचना थिला
भाई से रखी दे हां कारण नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ तीन पेज लंबो गोटे पैराग्राफ बहुत लेट है
जय गुरु Nilachara Thakur Nigananda in the page 165 to 168. Here, in these pages, Lilama is narrating multiple personalities of Thakur, his affection, calmness, anger. She started by asserting Thakur used to wear a complex character, often with conflicting traits. He sometimes shows his soft side and sometimes his fury. Only his close ones have witnessed his wrath. She goes on to narrate the incidents as heard from Saraswata. Thakur once went to Sandip. That's basically a beach town in Bengal. In the festivities, Bhogoj was being prepared. As usually, things were going on late. Thakur was talking to Bhaktas while the preparation was in full swing. After the preparation was over, Bhoga was being carried away to be served. As Bhaktas were carrying the Bhoga, someone stopped and some kids, etc. As per the words of Sarojuma, suddenly as if a thunderbolt struck, and the house started shaking with the wrath of Thakura. Everyone started begging for an excuse from Thakura. After Thakura finally calmed down, all Bhoga was disposed of and cooking started all over again. She later goes on analyzing the situation and asks herself, was Thakura extremely conservative? The answer is not really. He just wanted to make sure the Bhaktas must not earn any sins by doing certain things in their awareness. It was just an opportunity to remind everyone how to serve Sri Gurudev. He used to carry different tones of voice. Normally, he talks with very low voice, but when he really gets angry, and that's nothing short of a thunder. She has seen his anger once in childhood. Once Thakura called for some brahmachari in such an angry voice, as if the sky collapsed. However, Lilama never got beaten firsthand. She never got an ear twist. She had witnessed most of her variation in personality. She came close to Thakura in relation to her studies. Thakura tested her spelling and knowledge of composite characters. Thakura wanted Lilama to learn English so that will let her get admitted into high school. She was given hope of a prize for doing that work. She found Harin Bhai as a co-conspirator to win toys as prizes from Thakura. She later goes on and portrays the other frugality nature of the Thakura, but we'll stop it here. I think the page number today ended at 68, first paragraph. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. तुम्हारी प्रेम भिखारी सजीले प्रभु तुम्हारी प्रेम भिखारी सजीले जगत जगत कहिला पागल बोली जगत कही पागल बोली पाइथिल बोली से प्रेम परसा पाइथिल बोली से प्रेम परसा राधा छुरुथिला दिवस दिवस राधा छुरुथिला दिवस दिवस पागलिनी परी बने धाउथिला पागलिनी परी बने धाउथिला जाति कुल मान महत भूली जाति कुल मान महत भूली तुमरी प्रेमर भिखारी सजिले प्रभु तुमरी प्रेमर भिखारी सजिले जगत कहिला पागल बोली मोते जगत कहिला पागल बोली राजा रानी मीरा गोपाल प्रेम रे राजा रानी मीरा गोपाल प्रेम रे राजबाती छाड़ी दांडे दांडे बोले राजबाती छाड़ी दांडे दांडे बोले जीते आकटता पाई फूल हार जीते आकटता पाई फूल हार गोपाल गलारे जाय से झुली गोपाल गला जाय से झुली तुमरी प्रेमर भिखारी सजिले प्रभु तुमरी प्रेमर भिखारी सजिले जगत कहिला पागल बोली प्रभु जगत कहिला पागल बोली तुम प्रेम पाई पागल हेबाको तुम प्रेम पाई पागल जगत कहिला पागल बोली मोते जगत कहिला पागल बोली तुम प्रेम पाई बाई होई मोही तुम प्रेम पाई बाई होई मोही पागलंक परी प्रलाप कले प्रभु पागलंक परी प्रलाप कले प्रभु जगत कहिला पागल बोली मोते जगत कहिला पागल बोली जय
Jai Guru. Yogi Guru Part 1 Yoga Kalpa. Namam Namah Shivayam Santaya Karnatarya Hetave Nivedayam Mikatmam Tava Gatit Paramaseva. I begin the book meditating upon the holy feet of Bhuta Bhavanapati, the masters of all being and Lord of Bhavani, the mother of universe, who enraptures the heart of devotees and annihilates the worldly fears. God, the Father of the universe, has only one universal principle, that is, nothing remains unchanged forever. Today, one who is living and sleeping in the sky-kissing palatial buildings of fabulous pomp and luxury and engaged in sensual enjoyments may take shelter under a tree tomorrow and beg for a handful of rice at the doors of others. Today, the father who feels himself most proud and fortunate by spending huge money with free hands in the birth anniversary of his son may hold to his chest the dead body of his most loving son tomorrow and lament like a torn throat dove in the funeral ground. Today, one who is engrossed preparing the garland of hope for future happiness while peeping on the beautiful veiled face of the bride on the eve of the wedding ceremony is contemplating suicide. Tomorrow, on knowing his sweetheart in secret love with someone else. Today, a lady who enjoys to her heart's content the overflowing love of her husband sitting beside her on the bed is tomorrow rolling in the dust near her dead husband like a mad woman with disheveled hair in torn and dirty clothes. There was a time when people in other countries were living naked in tree holes and mountain caves and satisfied their hunger with fruits and sweet potatoes. The Aryans in Aryavata reverberated the distant horizon by singing hymns and sweet melodies on the banks of the river Saraswati. In course of time, due to rise of Islam and rebellion in the state, the Hindu gradually lost their vast knowledge, the Aryan vitality, customs, traditions, and faith in the religion, in addition to the freedom. The firmament of Bharata was clouded with the dense darkness of ignorance. Eventually, the highly rich and energetic Aryans became entirely dependent on others in all respect. By and by, the Muslim monarchy disappeared and the British rule spread far and wide. The Hindus developed deformed mindset and lost direction due to Western education. The Hindu religion, which has been disturbing pure and soothing radiance since ages, which has unraveled the mystery of sadhana through discussion and deliberation since distance past, which has permitted many scientists and philosophers to probe and enter into arguments and counter arguments about it, is now ridiculed as the religion of idol worship and superstition by the educated Westerners of the present age, along with the so called Indians infested with Western culture and deformed mindset. However, the foundation of Hindu religion is so strong that it has survived the unending tyranny during national and religious revolution in the present age. But as I told before, nothing is immutable. The tide has returned back. The Hindus are now awakened to knowledge, religion, and freedom. The Hindus have understood where does the limit of this extremely diverse universe end. The Hindu religion is rich with deep, subtle, and scientific and spiritual philosophy. By knowing a bit of hidden essence and the greatness of the Hindu religion, the physical science of at West is utterly startled. Day by day, Hindu religion is progressing in such a manner that within a short time, the entire country and the entire nation will be illuminated and exhilarated by the placid and pure white beam of this religion. Now the Hindu believe in the Hindu scriptures, obey the Hindu religion, and offer prayer and worship as per Hindu faith. People right from school and college students to adults have developed interest in sadhana bhajana. But due to lack of suitable instructor, hardly anyone is able to visualize the real path of spiritual sadhana. The so-called pundits of our country prescribe so rigid and complex methods of sadhana that people, instead of following these in real life, have to abandon the hope of practicing this forever. They prepare such a long list of rituals that it becomes extremely difficult for one to accomplish them even after spending a lifelong hard earned money. According to them, divine blessings do not dawn upon anyone unless one forsakes wives and children, abandons all his treasure, and renounces the worldly bondage, desiccates his body by fasting, accepts the guise of a sannyasi, and endures cold and heat, taking shelter under a tree. It is extremely amazing to learn that one has to undergo so much pain and suffering in order to practice religion. I know that the purpose of spiritual practices is only to obtain happiness. The scriptures to corroborate the same. Sukham vasanti sarvo hi tacha dharma samu bhavana tasmad dharma sada karvaya sarva varnisham prajanataha. Well, then see, happiness is the goal of spiritual practices. It is the sheer ignorance to suffer physical and mental torments by spending money unnecessarily. It is regrettable that due to want of an appropriate advisor, we starve despite plenty of food stock in our house. We possess countless scriptures and innumerable ways of sadhana. Once a year, in the month of Bhadrava, that is August to September, we demoisturize the scriptures in the sun, then store them in bundles. But instead of going through the scriptures, we beg others, extending our hands with desperation for guidance. Either we suffer setback due to our indulgence in this form of distorted sadhana, or remain contented, shifting all our blames on Kali Yoga. Readers, I would not engage myself in describing the described desired subject without informing you how I suffered setback and eventually found Sadguru by the blessings of Sachidananda Sadasiva, the self of truth encompassing all welfare. At the age of 23, I walked out of the house keeping in the heart the burning fire of memory, on reducing into ashes all peace and happiness, hope and reliance, endeavor and perseverance in my youthful life at the roots of Kadamba tree, on the banks of the overflowing river in the month of Bhadrava. Afterwards, I wandered myself many hamlets, city, and saw intently the majestic buildings adorned with the decorative lights and beautiful artistic and architectural design, but the fire of life was never extinguished. भाई आओ पढ़िबे
भाई से रक्षा बर्तमान केते पारा मु असली मु बंगला बहिटा फॉलो करछि तो असला केते पेज रहिला बर्तमान 25 रहिला ना कोन
24 रे रहिला भाई लास्ट लाइन रे
अच्छा त नै पारा नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ ता 25 रे आरंभ होछि माने
नेक्स्ट पारा ने भाई इट कंटिन्यूस एंड इट कंटिन्यूस बियॉन्ड 25
तो 27 रे थिबो एक पैराग्राफ ता 27 पेजेस अछि एठी भाई रखंतु ताले
हां ताले रखि दियंत कोन की माने मु बंगला बहिटा फॉलो करथिल त का बंगला बहिरे चाली छी से हां ठीक है रखि दियंत
हां भाई
जय Jayaguru. Sorry about that. तो क्यूए सेशन हमरो आरंभ करिबा संघ सेवकरू आज संघ सेवकर मुख्य आलोचना हला जे आत्मविचार अर्थ हला मु किए जे मु किए कोट आसिली कोन पे आसिली माने देह छाला पर क्वाड जीबी इत्यादि 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 এটা কেবল জ্ঞান পথ এটা মানে ভক্তি পথ নয় জ্ঞান পথ মধ্যে মানে উভয় পথে যে আধ্যাত্মিক উন্নতি করিয়া ফেলে আমাকে এইটা ହିଁ বিচার করিয়া পড়িব যে জ্ঞানী মানে বিচার করিবে যে মু কিଏ মু এটা নিয়ে মু সেটা নিয়ে তাକୁ ନେତି ବା ନେଦମ କହ ଯାଉଛି ନ ଇଦମ ମୁ ଏଇଟା ନୁହେଁ ବା ନେତି ନ ଇତି ମୁ ଏହା ନୁହେଁ ତେଣୁ ଏମିତି ହେଇକିରି ସେମାନେ ପହଞ୍ଚିବେ ଯେ ମୁଁ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ଅହଂ ବ୍ରହ୍ମାସ୍ମି କିମ୍ବା ଅୟମ ଆତ୍ମା ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ମୁଁ ନିଜେ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ କି ମୁଁ ଏଇ ଆତ୍ମାଟା ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ସ୍ୱରୂପ ଏଇଥିରେ ସେ ପହଞ୍ଚିବେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଭକ୍ତମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଟିକେ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ସେ ଯଦିଓ ମାନେ ଭାବୁଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ କିଏ ଆମର ଯଦି ପରିଚୟ ପତ୍ର ପଢା ହଉଛି ଯେ ସେବକଙ୍କ ସ୍ୱୀକୃତି ରାଇଟ୍ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରୁ ସେବକ ସ୍ୱୀକୃତି ଯେ ମୁଁ ସେବକ ଏଇ ଜ୍ଞାନଟା ଆମ ଦୃଢ ହେବା ଦରକାର କାହାର ସେବକ ଆମ କେସ୍ରେ ଆମେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ସେବକ କିଏ ଭାବୁଛି ମୁଁ ରାମଙ୍କ ସେବକ କିଏ ଭାବୁଥିବ ମୁଁ କୃଷ୍ଣଙ୍କ ସେବକ କିଏ ଭାବୁଥିବ ମୁଁ ଶିବଙ୍କ ସେବକ ମାଙ୍କ ସେବକ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଆମ ପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ସେବକ ଠାକୁର ଆମ ପାଇଁ ସବୁ गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेव महेश्वर राइट सो गुरुदेव परम ब्रह्म से परम ब्रह्म स्वरूप से परम ब्रह्म को आम सेवक यहीटा आम आत्मविचार सब ये विचार को आम मन रखा दरकार चेष्टा करा दरकार सब मन रखी हो ना जे आम जो मासिक लिपि गोटे क्वेश्चन मासिक लिपि कथा कहूँ मासिक क्वेश्चन अच्छी जे सब निजक ठाकुर सेवक बोली मन रखी पार्टी कि ना मोर आंसर से सब दूसरी ना सब पारना केत आस मन कि सब हो पार सदा सर्वदा से मन आत्मविचार मन आसी पार ना कि से प्रतिष्ठित हवा पड़ो कारण जो मैंने आम लक्ष्य कौन नित्य लोक जाए ठाकुर नित्य सेवा करवा तो से भाव में प्रतिष्ठित नहला पर्यंत नित्य लोक जाई हब ना ये ठाकुर वाक्य जे भाव पूर्ण नहला पर्यंत भाव जगत को जापर ना भाव जे पर्यंत अपूर्ण रही जे पर्यंत भाव में पूर्णता आसी ना से पर्यंत भाव लोक नित्य लोक जाई हेब ना यहाँ गुरु वाक्य भाव तो आम शून्यता आसू ना आई डोंट नो ये जीवन आसो कि नहीं आई डोंट नो सीरियसली गोटे गोटे छोट कथा कहूँ माने कहीकि माने प्रश्न जीवा जी प्रश्न थाए जे आम पूजा बसुचु ठाकुर से स्वयं उपस्थित यही भावटा आम दृढ़ है कि नहीं ठाकुर से स्वयं उपस्थित कला कहूली कहूली माँ मैंने भाई मैंने गीत बोलुँच भावे ठाकुर बस सामने ठाकुर मत आदेश देते गीत बोलिए मुझे ठाकुर निर्देश में गीतटा बोलूँ ठाकुर को शुणाऊँ भक्त मान नुहे किए शुणला न शुणला से चिंता ना ठाकुर को गीतटा शुणाऊँ ठाकुर आनंद में मशगुल हो बस मो गीत को पूरा एंजय कर केवल माने संगीत वाला समस्त से ठाकुर स्वयं सामने बसी এই ଭାବଟା ମୁଁ ଦୃଢ଼ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ, ଏଇଠୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। ଏନିୱେ ଏଇଠି ରଖୁଛି, ଟାଇମ୍ ସମୟ ଅଛି, ଯଦି କିଛି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଅଛି ପଚାରନ୍ତୁ, ନହେଲେ ୱି କ୍ୟାନ୍ ଡିସ୍କସ୍ ଫର୍ଦର। ଆଚ୍ଛା, ତାହେଲେ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁ କରିବା। ସେ କଥା ହେଲା ଯେ ଗୁରୁ କୋଉଠି ପଢ଼ାଉଥିଲା ଆଜି, ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ସେ ବୋଧେ ସେଇ ସଂଘ ସବୁ ପଢ଼ାଉଥିଲା ବୋଧେ, ଯେ ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ସରି ନୀଳାଚଳ ଠାକୁର ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ପଢ଼ାଉଥିଲା। ମା କହିଲେ, ନାରାୟଣୀ ମା କହିଲେ ଯେ ଯେହେତୁ ଆମେ ଅଜ୍ଞାନ, ଆମେ ଭାବୁଛୁ କ'ଣ ଯେ ଗୁରୁ ବା ଭଗବାନ ସେମାନେ ସିଏ ହେଲେ ଦୟାମୟ, ସେ ପ୍ରେମମୟ, ଏହା ଭାବୁଛୁ। ଆମେ ସେମିତି ନ ଭାବିକି ଯେ ଗୁରୁ ମଙ୍ଗଳମୟ, ଗୁରୁ କରୁଣାମୟ, ଏଇଟା ଆମର ଭାବିବା ଉଚିତ। କାହିଁକି ସେ କଥା କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଭାବୁଛୁ ଗୁରୁ ଦୟାମୟ, ଗୁରୁ ପ୍ରେମମୟ, ସେଥିରେ ଆମେ ଭାବୁଛୁ ଆମେ ଯାହା କଲେ ଠାକୁର ଆମକୁ କ୍ଷମା କରିଦେବେ। ଦୟାମୟ ପରା, ସେ ଦୟା କରିବା ତାଙ୍କର ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ, ତାଙ୍କର ଧର୍ମ, ତାଙ୍କର ପ୍ରବୃତ୍ତି। ଆମେ ଯାହା କଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେ ଆମକୁ ଦୟା କରିବେ, ଆମକୁ କ୍ଷମା କରିଦେବେ। ଆମେ ଯେତେ ଅପରାଧ କରୁ, ତା ଦ୍ୱାରା କ'ଣ ହେଉଛି ନା ଆମର ଅପରାଧ ପ୍ରବଣ ବଢ଼ି ବଢ଼ି ଚାଲିଛି। ଅପରାଧ ପରେ ଅପରାଧ କରି ଚାଲିଛୁ। ଆମେ କହୁଛୁ କ'ଣ ଯେ ଗୁରୁ ଦୟାମୟ, ଗୁରୁ କ୍ଷମା କରିଦେବେ। ସେଥିପାଇଁ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଅଜ୍ଞାନ ସେମାନେ ଗୁରୁ ଦୟାମୟ, ଗୁରୁ କ୍ଷମାମୟ, ଗୁରୁ ପ୍ରେମମୟ ଏକଥା ନ ଭାବିକିରି ଗୁରୁ ମଙ୍ଗଳମୟ, ଗୁରୁ କରୁଣାମୟ ଏଇଟା ଭାବିବା ଦରକାର। ଭାବିଲେ କ'ଣ ହବ? ଗୁରୁ ମଙ୍ଗଳମୟ। ଯଦି ପୁଅଟା ଯାଇକିରି ମାନେ କ'ଣ ବର୍ଷାରେ ଡେଇଁବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି, ବର୍ଷାରେ ଓଦା ହେବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି, ବାପ କ'ଣ କରିବ? କାନ ମୋଡ଼ି ଆଣି ଘରେ ବସେଇ ଦେବ। କାହିଁକି? ବାପ ମଙ୍ଗଳମୟ, ଚାହୁଁଛି ମୋ ପୁଅର ମଙ୍ଗଳ କୋଉଥିରେ ହବ। ବର୍ଷା ତିନ୍ତିଲେ ଜ୍ୱର ହବ, ସଫର କରିବ। କି ପାଠ ଯଦି ରାତିରେ ପାଠ ନ ପଢ଼ିକି ବସି ଟିଭି ଦେଖୁଛି, ବାପ ଏ ଟିଭି ବନ୍ଦ କରିଦେବ। କାହିଁକି ନା ପାଠ ପଢ଼ିବା ଦରକାର ତାର, ସେଥିରେ ତାର ମଙ୍ଗଳ, ଟିଭି ଦେଖିଲେ ମଙ୍ଗଳ ନାହିଁ। ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ମା କହିଲେ ଯେ ସବୁବେଳେ ଆମର ମନେ ରଖିବା ଦରକାର ଯେ ଗୁରୁ ମଙ୍ଗଳମୟ। ଠାକୁର ସେଟା ଜ୍ଞାନୀ ଗୁରେ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଭଗବାନ କେବଳ ଦୟାବାନ ନୁହନ୍ତି, ଭଗବାନ ନ୍ୟାୟବାନ ମଧ୍ୟ। ଯଦି ସେ ଖାଲି ଦୟାବାନ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତେ ଜୀବ ଅଧପାତରେ ଯାଆନ୍ତା, ମାନେ ସବୁବେଳେ ଜୀବ ପାପ କରି ଚାଲିଥାନ୍ତା, ଅପରାଧ କରି ଚାଲିଥାନ୍ତା, ଆଉ ଭଗବାନ କ୍ଷମା କରି ଚାଲିଥାନ୍ତେ। ସେ କହିଲେ କେବଳ ଦୟାବାନ ନୁହନ୍ତି, ସେ ନ୍ୟାୟବାନ ମଧ୍ୟ। ତାମାନେ ସେ ନ୍ୟାୟଦଣ୍ଡ ଧରି ରଖିଛନ୍ତି, ଶାସନ କରିବେ ଜୀବକୁ। ସେମିତି ଆମର ସେ ଧାରଣା ରହିବା ଦରକାର ଯେ ଆମେ ଭୁଲ କଲେ, ଆମେ ଅପରାଧ କଲେ ଠାକୁର ଶାସନ ଦଣ୍ଡ ଧରି ଆମକୁ ଶାସନ କରିବେ। ଖାଲି ଆମକୁ ଫର୍ଗିଭ୍ କରି ଚାଲିବେନି, ଖାଲି ଆମକୁ ଦୟା କରି ଚାଲିବେନି, କ୍ଷମା କରି ଚାଲିବେନି। ଏଇ ଧାରଣାଟାକୁ ଆମ ମନରେ ସବୁବେଳେ ଦୃଢ଼ ରଖିବା ଦରକାର। ମୋର କହିବାର କାରଣ ଏଗେନ୍ ଏଇଆ ଯେ ଆମର ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେବା କରୁ, ଯେକୌଣସି ସେବା ହଉ, ସେବାରେ ଅପରାଧ ଯେମିତି ନ ହୁଏ, ଅପରାଧ ବର୍ଜିତ ସେବା ସବୁବେଳେ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବା। ଯାହା ସେବା ହଉ, ସଙ୍ଗୀତ ସେବା ହଉ, ଆରତୀ ସେବା ହଉ, ଫୁଲ ଗୁନ୍ଥା ସେବା ହଉ, ଏନି ସେବା, ପରିବେଷଣ ସେବା ହଉ, ଭୋଗ ରନ୍ଧନ ସେବା ହଉ, ସବୁବେଳେ ମନେ ରଖିବା ଯେ ଅପରାଧ ନ ହୁଏ। ଇଭିନ୍ ବସିକି ଶୁଣିବା ମଧ୍ୟ ଗୋଟେ ସେବା। ସିରିୟସଲି ସ୍ପିକିଂ, ବସିକିରି ଯୋଉ ଗୀତ ଚାଲିଛି କିମ୍ବା ମାନେ ଡିସ୍କସନ ଚାଲିଛି କିମ୍ବା ବହି ପଢ଼ା ଚାଲିଛି, ତାକୁ ଶୁଣିବା ମଧ୍ୟ ସେବା। ଏ ସେବାଟା ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ଭାଗ୍ୟରେ ଜୁଟେ ନା। ଏବେ ମୁଁ ଥରେ ଭାବୁଥିଲି, ଠାକୁର ଓଡ଼ିଶା ଆସିଲେ, ଏଇଟା ମୁଁ ମଝିରେ କହିଥିଲି ଯେ ଠାକୁର ମଠରେ ରାଗିକିରି ପଳେଇ ଆସିଲେ ଓଡ଼ିଶା। ଆମର ମହାଭାଗ୍ୟର ଉଦୟ ହେଲା। ଠାକୁର ମଠରେ ରାଗିକି ପଳେଇ ଆସିଲେ, ଓଡ଼ିଶାବାସୀଙ୍କର ମହାଭାଗ୍ୟର ଉଦୟ ହେଲା ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ରାଗରୁ। କାହିଁକି ନା ନୀଳାଚଳ ସାରସ୍ୱତ ସଂଘ ସୃଷ୍ଟି ହେଲା, ଆସି ନୀଳାଚଳ କୁଟୀରେ ରହିଲେ, ନୀଳାଚଳ ସାରସ୍ୱତ ସଂଘ ସୃଷ୍ଟି କଲେ। ଆମକୁ ସେ ସଂଘଟା ଦେଇ ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି। ଆମର କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ସେ ସଂଘଟାକୁ କେମିତି ଠିକ ଭାବରେ ଚଳେଇବା, ସେ ଯୋଉ ଭାବରେ କହିଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ଭାବରେ ଚାଲିପାରିବା। ପ୍ରକୃତ ସଂଘ, ପ୍ରକୃତ ପ୍ରେମପ୍ରୀତିର ସମ୍ପର୍କ ରଖିକିରି, ପ୍ରକୃତ ଭାବରେ ଗୁରୁ ସେବା କରିକିରି। କିନ୍ତୁ ଯଦି ସଂଘଟାକୁ ଆମେ ଠିକ ନ ରଖିଲେ, ସଂଘର ଯଦି ଦୁରୁପଯୋଗ କଲେ, ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ କହିଲି ଆମର ମହାଭାଗ୍ୟ ଉଦୟ ହେଲା ନା, ଆମେ ହତଭାଗା। ସଂଘଟାକୁ କେମିତି ଠିକ ଭାବରେ ପରିଚାଳନା କରିବା, ଏହା କେବଳ କର୍ମକର୍ତ୍ତାଙ୍କର କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ନୁହେଁ, ଆମ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକଙ୍କର କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ। ସଂଘ ପୂଜା ଚାଲିଛି, ବସିବା, ଶୁଣିବା। ଗୀତ ବୋଲା ଜାଣିଛି, ଠାକୁର ଶୁଣୁଛନ୍ତି, ଆମେ ବି ଶୁଣିବା। ପୁସ୍ତକ ପାଠ ଚାଲିଛି, ଭାବିବା ଠାକୁର କହୁଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ। आम से मन दे शुणा कि ठाकुर जो कहते आम मन न दे एकर सेकड़ हवा उठिक जाए कौन कौन कम करके आसवा पुणी बसवा पुणी अन्य किसी कम करवा प्रकृत में ठाकुर जो उपहार देते जो गिफ्ट देते नीलाचल शासन जो गिफ्ट आमको देते से गिफ्ट आम अमर्यादा कर संघर अमर्यादा कर आम सब मन रखा हो समय गला गोटे मिनट चलीगला बेसी सॉरी कह कारण या आम भूल हो बहुत भूल हो संघ पूजा anyway again we'll continue this discussion later on Jayaguru Saraswata
प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे माना प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे तुम प्रेम ज्योति मधुर पारसे तुम प्रेम ज्योति मधुर पारसे अंतराम उठुए जारी प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे मानव प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे सुनाइला अमृतवाणी देखाइला प्रेम सराय सुनाइला अमृतवाणी देखाइला प्रेम सराय तेई बाणी सुनी तेई पते चली तेई बाणी सुनी तेई पते चली विकसी जिया हृदय काली प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे मानव प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे कुपथरे गमीले माना भोगुआ बीते कासाना कुपथरे गमीले माना भोगुआ बीते कासाना ते कासाना कथा तब प्राणी कासाना कथा तब प्राणी व्यथा पातुमे आमखि बळी प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे जीवन रे करिछु आशा शिवु सदा तुम्हारी पासा जीवन रे करिछु आशा शिवु सदा तुम्हारी पासा नीति नीति प्रभु बोली हेउथिबु नीति नीति प्रभु बोली हेउथिबु तुम श्री चरण पवित्र धूली Karayali Prabhu Kanja Charani. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, young aspirants. I'll start with attendance and then we'll ask Saraswat to explain the meaning of the song that he just sang. Aditi?
Jayaguru Ma, Saraswati.
Jayaguru. Adhyasa? Aisi?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Anhi?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Ansh?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Anshul? Arnav?
Asi Puja Mai.
Jayaguru. Aryan?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Ashrita?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Jamu?
Jayaguru Saraswati.
Jayaguru. Divyam?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Simi?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Jagra?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Naitik?
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Nivriti?
Guru.
Jayaguru. Pratyusha? Pratyush?
जयगुरु मैं प्रत्यक्ष बसे नहीं जयगुरु
Jayaguru है. Prayushi?
जयगुरु मैं प्रायशी ज्वाइन करी पारनी है जी.
Jayaguru. Sanvi?
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Saranya?
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Saraswat?
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Charles?
ଜୟଗୁରୁ ସିଏ ଲେଖିଥିଲେ ଯେ ରହିପାରିବେ ନାହିଁ ଆଜି.
Jayaguru. Sarsak? Bobby?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Shilpi?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Manu?
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Jimmy?
ଜୟଗୁରୁ.
Jayaguru. Simran?
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Shrija?
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Suhani?
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Yukta?
Jayaguru Ma.
Jayaguru. Is there anyone I missed or who came in after? Saraswat, can you please explain the meaning of the song you just sang?
Jayaguru. The song basically says, Thakura, our mind prays at your lotus feet for enlightenment with the brightest of your blessing and love. Thakura, our hearts have been conditioned by following your advice, teaching, and loving. And when our mind deviates from the correct path, we face many difficulties and much pain. By seeing our suffering, you get hurt many times more than the pain that we feel. Thakura, we mortal humans desire nothing more than to always stay with you. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. It's another beautiful song, and as always, the songs are very good at explaining and inspiring that devotional aspect of what we're doing here spiritually. So today, before we get into discussing the passage and discussing our thoughts on that, to kind of get us thinking about what we're going to read and what teachings of Thakura we're going to discuss today. Kind of what we're going to be discussing is what Thakura wants for us, what what his will is. That's what the reading is about. So before we get into it, I wanted us to think and point of what we already know. What do we think that, or what have we learned before about what Thakura wants for us? Anik, what do you think that Thakura wants for all of us?
Jayaguru, I think Thakura wants all of us to achieve enlightenment and just do our best on the path of spirituality, Jayaguru.
Yeah, right. He, as our guru, as Sadhguru, as someone who is enlightened, he wants for us to also get there, to succeed in this spiritual journey, to get that ultimate enlightenment. And then next question I want to ask is, in our day-to-day lives, when we're doing anything, when we have some kind of problem that we're facing, how do we know, or how do you judge or figure out whether or not what you're doing is the right thing to do? Simran, how do you think about what the right thing to do is in any situation?
Gee, Grandma, whenever I'm like in tough decisions and I can't like make a choice, I just like chant Jayaguru, and like kind of ask him to help me choose Jayaguru.
Right. We've talked about before of like trying to let him guide us, and so when we aren't sure what the right thing to do is, chanting Jayaguru is a practice. Just any practice of kind of remembering him are things that we can do, that we have done, that can help us try to figure out what the right thing to do is. Okay, so today we're going to be reading, it is a translation of something that Thakura has said, but it was in biographies of Guru Swami Nigamananda that it was quoted in. So we'll be reading this passage. So these are things that, at least translated, the things that he said to his two disciples at the time when he was in his physical body. And in this, he discusses kind of what his will is, what and how he is going to continue giving guidance to his devotees when his physical body is no more. So we'll get into this and reading this. And so to read today, Shrija, would you be able to read for us today?
Jayaguru, sure. The will of Sadhguru. To household devotees and sannyas, these all have to be united to form Sangha and give shape to my will. In my absence, the sense of unity and harmony will germinate, especially in those who love me. You will rightly comprehend my latent holy desire after my departure. But in the absence of Chitta Suddhi, my desire will be reflected in a deformed and distorted manner, since you have to be absorbed more and more in my thought. On one hand, you have to meditate more and more for Chitta Suddhi. On the other, you have to perform desireless actions stipulated by Gurudev for the annihilation of the gunas, attributes. I shall manifest as will and inspiration within your emotional heart if you can perform these sadhanas. then you will get me in the true sense. Because to get me within happiness, to be the real visualization. It is to be understood that those who will grieve over my death are indeed the non-believers in my existence. I exist eternally. I am present outside you because I am alive with this ghost body, but after my departure I shall occupy a seat in the temple of your heart. You unite to form Sangha. It is my desire. So those who want to materialize my will must be united to form Sangha. Much of my holy will remain unexpressed. You can understand that will which is not expressed if you can achieve awakening in yourself. You can never realize my will with a state of mind of the lower plane. Hence, when you are absorbed with it, you can realize my holy will revealed and unrevealed. After relinquishing this gross body, I shall mingle with my will. Those who give shape to my desire will indeed get me in a true sense. If you want to realize that holy will, you have to endeavor for the merge of your heart within it. As soon as heart remains absorbed, I shall manifest as sacred desire in the pure and clean medium. When my desire will manifest completely in you, then you will realize that you have attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi. After my death, my instruction and advice are to be honored as Guru. I shall then manifest as inspiration in your heart. Don't confuse your narrow selfish desire as the holy will of Sri Gurudev. I bless, may your heart be pure and serene, and may my holy desire be reflected in the mirror of your heart. By my blessing, let you be privileged to realize the holy will of Sadguru. All of you become the bearer of my holy will. This will be my last blessing. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Before we get into our discussion, did anyone have any questions?
Jayaguru, can you explain what Jijasuti is in the first paragraph?
Yes, so this would be what he's referring to is basically the mind or heart. It can be the definition, but it's like a clean mind, heart type of idea. So if you are kind of talk about like purity of thought, purity of purpose, purity of mind. So like for those people we talk about in the material world, and we've talked about when reading the Gita and some of the other things we've read before, we have we're all enshrined in the delusion of believing all these material things are real, and we have all of this baggage and in our understanding of the world that gets in our way of truly understanding. So Chittasuddhi is that state of purity of mind. So when you're when you're on that spiritual path and fully focused on it, and you're able to let go of all of the things that might distract or might make it difficult for you to really understand what's going on. So like pure mind is the way we can think of it. Any other questions?
Jayaguru the Sonic, what is near Vikalpa Samadhi in the second to last paragraph, Jayaguru?
Yeah, very good. So does anyone know the answer to that? A lot of you have seen this before. What is Nirvikalpa Samadhi? I hint it's something Thakura achieved. You remember from his Jivani? Does anyone remember what Nirvikalpa Samadhi is? What that state is?
Isn't Nirvikalpa Samadhi where your soul like leaves your body? I think, but it's when you attain like the power to like take your soul in and out of your body. Jayaguru?
Jayaguru, yeah, kind of. So it's like in the yogic practice that Thakura did, and in that it's when you reach that ultimate state of enlightenment. So it's in the it's that total absorption bliss, so that we talked about, we have that Atma within ourselves, which is just Brahman, and when you realize that, that's that state of enlightenment in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So that soul is there's no sense of self in that. So yeah, in a way we can think of it like you can kind of come in and out like Thakura can do and could do once he achieves that. Is being fully I mean another way we can think of it as being fully enlightened and realizing, yes, that soul does belong to and is actually Brahman. Any other questions? Okay. If not, we'll go through the ones that for all of us. So in this, Thakura talks about his will, and specifically he says, we should know we will know what his will is, even I mean, for all of us, he passed out of the mortal body many, many decades before any of us were born. So how is it that he says we will know what his will is? Yuka, what does Thakura say about how we will know what his will is?
Jayaguru, in the passage, it says we will feel his will manifest in our emotional heart if we perform his sadhanas. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, yes. He says, basically, it's within us. He's within us. He says he's, once he passed out of his mortal body, then he still is there. That Atma is there within us. So he says he occupies a seat in the temple of our heart. So because he's there, his will is also there within us, and we have the ability to feel that within us and know that within us. So then when he says that, one of the things he says in that first passage is, though we can understand and though his will is within us, he speaks to us from our heart. We should be able to feel that. He says, in absence of chittasuddhi, which we discussed, that purity of mind, his desire will be reflected in a deformed and distorted manner. What does he mean by that? In absence of that purity of mind, in absence of chittasuddhi, his desire could be reflected in a distorted way. Ansh, what do you think that means?
Jayaguru, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So Thakura says, so we've established Thakura's will is within us. He is within us, and so we can feel his will within us through when we perform sadhanas and get closer to him. But what he says, in the absence of purity of mind, in the absence of chittasuddhi, he says his desire can be reflected in a deformed and distorted manner. What does that mean? What point does he get?
Yeah. So I think that what he's trying to say is that, first of all, we're not going to realize his true intentions for us. And so we might, rather than trying to attain God, we might be trying to do things really for his favor and not be focusing on our own spiritual path. And then we might also be using his teachings to justify us doing things that aren't what he wants. So maybe instead of like looking on our own spiritual path, we are focusing on maybe trying to convert other people because we aren't focused on that spiritual path, working for Takara, working towards Takara. Jayaguru?
Right, that's a great example and discussion of that. So, I mean, we know and what he wants is within us, but if we don't have that purity of mind, if we're not really focused on that spiritual path and trying to understand that, we can mistake our own desires, our own material desires, our own desires to be right about something, our own thoughts for what he would want for us. And so in that way, we could fall into a trap of saying, well, we know that Takura wants this, but maybe we can think of it in a way of, I really want something, and so maybe I can think of some way that I can justify that with what Takura might want, and me thinking through that. That's us coming up with what we want and justifying that. That's not the same thing as us understanding from within us what Takura is guiding us to do. So then, if that is something that can happen, if we know that Takura's will is within us, and we need to understand that, but we also know that, in the absence of spiritual practices, in the absence of being fully pure of mind, which takes a lot of spiritual practice to get there, so we're not always going to be able to discern what is truly his will and what is what we want, and we're trying to justify it. What does he say we can do, or do we think we can do, to understand if something is truly his will or just something that we want? How do we know what's coming from him and what's coming from us? Mandu?
Jayaguru, can you repeat the question?
How do we know if we feel something from within us that this is the right thing to do? How do we know if that is Takura guiding us that this is the right thing to do, or if it's just us deciding, this is what I want to happen, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to justify it, saying like Takura would want me to do this? How do we know if something is right and coming from him?
We'll know if something is right because his desires will be fully manifested in us. And it says, the text says that when my desire will manifest completely in you, then you will realize you have attained nirvikalpa samadhi. So I guess when you get the full realization, you'll be closer connected to him and be able to understand what he wants from you. Jayaguru.
Right. So as we get closer to that full realization, as we progress in our spiritual path, it becomes easier to tell what's coming from him, and it becomes easier to kind of throw aside what is like our own ego or our own desires, because as we go on this spiritual journey, as we get closer and closer to that nirvikalpa samadhi, as we get closer and closer to that ultimate realization, we have less of those desires. So then in the first paragraph, he says, he gives specific spiritual practices that can help us get closer to that state where we're more able to understand what he's asking of us and keep our ego and desires out of the way. So what sort of practices does Sakura say we can do to be thinking on this higher spiritual level in order to be in tune with what he's asking us to do? Aditi?
Jayaguru Thakura is saying that he's telling people to form a Sangha so that his desire always remains within all of us. Jayaguru?
Jayaguru, yeah. One of the things he says that can help us understand his desires for us and his will and what he's asking us to do is to form a Sangha. And like we're all in a Sangha right now. If we all unite together, we can give shape to his will, we can follow his will. So how do we think being in a Sangha helps us understand what he wants for us? Lacey, how do you think being in a Sangha might help us understand what Thakura's true will is and keep us from mixing our own wants in there?
Jayaguru, we can keep our heart pure and always listen to what he says and keep his blessing, Jayaguru.
Thinking of him, thinking of his blessings, that helps us get there. Specifically, Jamu, how does being in a Sangha, all of us together, working on purifying our minds and working on these spiritual practices together, how does being in that Sangha with one another while we're at various stages of the spiritual journey, working on that purity of mind, working on all of these sadhanas, how does being together in this Sangha when we might not necessarily be at that stage of spiritual awakening where we truly understand Thakura and have that enlightenment, how does being together in the Sangha help us understand what Thakura's will might be?
Jayaguru, I think in a Sangha, with Thakura's teachings, I feel like a lot of people interpret it in different ways, or they capture the main purpose of what his sayings, and or they have different purposes. So, for example, one person may think that, oh, my goal right now towards salvation might be to be less materialistic, things like that. Or another person might think something else differently. So, kind of sharing those thoughts and opinions can help them form a way of praying together, and just it helps more with devotion, because if you see, it's kind of like the mentality that if you see one person doing it, you kind of follow, and then you just kind of get engrossed in that kind of concept. So I think that being in a Sangha helps people stay more dedicated in praying to Thakura.
I agree. That's right. In the Sangha, as we're talking with each other, we can learn a lot from one another. We can, all of you, when we have these discussions, have different points that you bring across that others might not think of, and some of us might understand some points better than others, might be focusing on something better than others. But in discussing, and in seeing one another, we not only encourage each other to continue on the spiritual path and help with motivation, help guide each other along, but we can also, in discussing, if we're, one point that Gemma made there was, we might be interpreting things differently when we discuss them together. When we come to a consensus, or we learn from each other, or we all have the same understanding of what Thakura would want, or what he's asking us to do, we can think of that as we have a better understanding of that being his will, if we all feel that that's what we think Takura is asking us to do, or what he says that's the right thing to do. Together, if we all feel that and are all encouraging each other to be on that spiritual path, that can help us understand that this is what we should be doing and this is what is right. With that, we are out of time, and Vivian has spoken away today. Sorry, and when you're ready, Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Today is my Bhava Vinaya, and I would like to use the opportunity to share how Thakura's teachings have impacted me and helped me over the last month. The past couple of weeks have been filled with trials and tribulations, and I felt like many things have not gone my way, and things especially that are like outside of my control. As a result, I felt very hurt, confused, and unsure of myself at times. But at my lowest moments, I always try to recall a teaching that we've seen time and time again in Y session, and that is that Thakura only wants the best for us. We might not understand it now, or even in a few months or years, but Thakura acts in our best interests if we are earnest in our devotion. And someday I will understand why things happen the way that they happened, even if I don't understand it now. But for now, I find solace in sitting next to Thakura in my college dorm and just saying Jayaguru. By keeping faith in Thakura, I'm motivated to pick myself up and to try to follow his teachings and apply his teachings in other facets of my life. I believe that if I do my responsibilities as a student, if I excel in my studies, and if in general I just be a good person and friend to the people around me, Thakura will take care of me in the long run. These teachings and this faith have kept me grounded in what has been an otherwise very difficult time. And for those reasons, I'm very grateful to have Thakura in my life. And also, I'm very grateful to be a member of the Sangha and to be able to attend Y session so I can keep hearing these things and keep hearing these affirmations, because I've been really able to apply those in my life and they've helped me a lot. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. श्री ठाकुर कृपारू आज मत सेवा मिली भाव विनिमय सेवा से ठाकुर पाखे कृतज्ञ गोटे जिन सब चेष्टा करे ठाकुर 100% आब्सोल्यूट फेथ रखापी तो दी तीन टा इनसीडेंट मत रिसेंटली तो भावी ठाकुर मत बहुत जगह हेल्प कर दी तीन टा इनसीडेंट ସେଇଟା ମୋର ଯେମିତି ଲାଗିଲା ମତେ ଠାକୁର ସେ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମରୁ ବାହାର କରିଛନ୍ତି। ମିଡିଲ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦ ନାଇଟ୍ ଗାଡ଼ିଟା ଖରାପ ହେଇଗଲା ରାସ୍ତାରେ ଦୁଇଥର। It's not a major problem, but somehow I didn't know anything what to do after that. It was totally new to me. AAA को केमती कॉल करी कौन करी गाड़ी की टो करी ये करी। It was totally panic kind of thing. Nobody is there, but ସେହି ସମୟରେ ମୋତେ ମୋ ମନକୁ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଆସିଲା ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଜଣେଇବି ଆଉ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଜଣେଇଲି I don't know so many help I got so successfully come out from these two situations where I felt like definitely ଠାକୁର help me definitely otherwise ମୋତେ ଲାଗେ ମୁଁ ତ କିଛି ଜାଣିନଥିଲି ସେଠି କେମିତି କରିବି କାହାକୁ କହିବି ରାତି ଅଧରେ କିଏ କ'ଣ କରିବ କାହାକୁ କଲ୍ କରିବି ସାଙ୍ଗକୁ କଲ୍ କରିବି କି କାହାକୁ କଲ୍ କରିବି ବଟ୍ ମତେ ଲାଗିଲାନି ଏତେ କିଛି ମୁଁ ଅସୁବିଧାରେ ପଡ଼ିଲି ବଟ୍ सक्सेसफुली केम आउट नेक्स्ट डे जहाँ करिया कथा प्रोसेस कली एवरीथिंग फाइन विदिन ए डे और टू तो से जिन मत बेले बेले फील लगे हाउ कैन इट हैपन somebody definitely top of me always look at me and help me से जिन दृढ़ विश्वास ठाकुर पाखे थाए कहला कांद लगे रियली आई एम फॉर्चुनेट ठाकुर को परिवार जन्म होती ठाकुर मत हेल्प कर गोटे जिन चेष्टा करी आर ए वर्ष ठाकुर भाव द्वारा केमी परिचय उठापी मत लगे मुझे ठाकुर बही बहुत कम पढ़ुची कि डेफिनेटली नुआ बही पढ़ी आ बही पढ़ले नुआ नुआ जिन निश्चित शिखी आ ठाकुर विश्वास निश्चित बढ़ो से गोटे मोर जमी काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग आई हैव with all the incident or whatever happened to my life मत लगुच मत आहरी बही पढ़ी ठाकुर आहरी दृढ़ विश्वास आने पड़ो से गोटा मोर टार्गेट रखी वर्ष आई विल रीड मोर बुक्स at least dedicated at least half an hour every day. होनी सेटा दिन होची दिन होनी मन बुझुंदी भूली जाउची आज पढ़ी बहुत ब्रेक आछि से जिनसे हम टारगेट रखिछि ए वर्ष पई at least I will try to achieve something by reading some books and implement in my life. ताकि पाखरे एति मोर प्रार्थना से मते एति पे आशीर्वाद दियंतु आउ रास्ता दिखांतु जय
जय आज मो भाव विनय पाली आउ ठाकुर ठाकुर पाखे मु सब कथा जनाए किंतु मु भावे मुझे जेतेबेले मोर दरकार पड़ुची मु सेतेबेले जनाउची आ ठाकुर ना नौची मु ए वर्ष चेष्टा करी सकाळू आ मु कौन काम करिया पूर्व केमती ठाकुर को प्रथम ठाकुर ना नहीं से काम आरंभ करी शेष होला परे ठाकुर को अप्रिशिएट करी ठाकुर तम दयारू मोर काम सब हो गला सब बेले तो निज इच्छा रे हुए नहीं जोटा चाहूब से लाइफ रे पारे आउ से भावटा मोर रहू केमिति जोटा होउची सेटा भल पाई होउची जदि भी न होउची सेटा आहुरी भल पाई होउची सेटा ठाकुर मते सेटा मते दियंतु केमिति मोर सेटा मु करि पारे आउ ठाकुरंकर सब बेले मो ठाकुरंक नाम नै पारे सकाळू राति पर्यंत भितर मोर एटा ही करियार अछि एथरा जय गुरु
Jayaguru, I invite Sri Sri Thakur Maharaj, all wise.
One second अस्तमा बंदितमा कि किशोर भाई ठाकुर के मध्याह्न भोग निमंत्रण करिवे इवनिंग पूजा पे निमंत्रण करिवे भक्तवान को प्रसाद पे निमंत्रण करिवे
हाँ जय गुरु भाई जय गुरु आज संघ पूजा द्वितीय अधिवेशन शेष होगा जाऊँगी यापर ठाकुर को मध्याह्न भोग निवेदन कर श्री श्री ठाकुर महाराज को से निमंत्रण कर मध्याह्न भोग निवेदन पर समस्त भाई माँ मान को प्रसाद सेवन पर निवेदन कर आज संध्या पूजा श्री श्री ठाकुर महाराज को निमंत्रण जनाऊँ जय गुरु
जय गुरु ओके आशिता योर टर्न नाउ
Jai Guru, I invite Sri Sri Thakur Maharaj, all Vaima and young aspirants, to our next Sangha Puja. Please come and join the puja. Give us the opportunity to serve you all. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
जय गुरु आमर नेक्स्ट संघ पूजा मार्च 16 ठाकुर भक्त भाई माँ को आपको निमंत्रण जनाऊँगी आमको सेवार सुजोग देवे पूजा टी सफल करेंगे प्रथम अधिवेशन आरंभ हम सका 7:30 द्वितीय अधिवेशन आरंभ हम सका 10टा बजे
जय गुरु श्री श्री ठाकुर ओ समस्त भाई माँ और पिला मानक भागरे आज संघ पूजा प्रथम और द्वितीय अधिवेशन मोठू और सबू भाई माँ मान और पिला जहाँ से ठाकुर पाखे मो क्षमा मागुची ठाकुर आमको क्षमा दिंतु जय गुरु
जय गुरु देवेर दुर्लभ चरण जुगल देवेर दुर्लभ तब চরণ যুগল কি দিয়ে পূজিব আমি, কি আছি সম্বল দেব কি দিয়ে পূজিব আমি, কি আছি সম্বল এই দেহ মন ধন জন তোমারি সকল, এই দেহ ধন জন তোমারি সকল, গ্রহণ করিয়া কর জীবন সফল, গ্রহণ করিয়া কর জীবন সফল, এই চরাচর বিশ্ব সকলি তোমার, এই চরাচর বিশ্ব সকলি তোমার, কি ধন তোমারে দিব কি আছে আমার দেব, কি ধন তোমারে দিব কি আছে আমার, কি দিয়ে পূজিব তোমায় দিনহীন আমি, কি দিয়ে পূজিব তোমায় দিনহীন আমি, যে ধনে পূজিব তোমায় সেই ধন তুমি, যে ধনে পূজিব তোমায় সেই ধন তুমি, আর কিছু নাই চাই এই নিবেদন, আর কিছু নাই চাই এই নিবেদন, জন্মে জন্মে এই রূপে দাও দর্শন দেব, জন্মে জন্মে এই রূপে দাও দর্শন, জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়, 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 জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়।
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু
জয়
Jai